These are the 9 principles of body efficiency training, and this is principle number 8, breathing chi. Now this is very interesting, very deep, because breathing chi is both physical and metaphysical. You see, the chi is your life force, and that in itself is non-physical. You can think of it as a pre-manifested force. But it will manifest as something physical, the electromagnetic force, and that flows through your body as well. There is electricity flowing through your body. And this electricity creates tension in the muscles and the tendons, and this tension helps to move the fluid, the blood through the body, and the lymphatic fluid through the body. So this is how the whole system works. But what we're doing when we're breathing chi is we're trying to integrate all these things together and synchronize them with the breathing itself. So let's take the physical aspect of the breathing. The breathing happens through an expansion and a contraction of the rib cage. That expands the cavity, the chest cavity, which reduces the pressure and therefore draws the air from outside in. And when the chest cavity collapses, it increases the pressure and pushes the air out. And of course we've got the diaphragm muscle that goes up and down as you breathe. Now I'm breathing in a particular way that activates the breathing and connects it to the structure. So I'm trying to breathe to the deepest part of the lungs, deep into the back of the rib cage, and from there it also stretches the spine a bit. So each time you inhale, you're feeling an expansion in the rib cage, in the spine, and this expansion stretches out through the whole body. So now I'm using breathing as an actual physical dynamic. The action of breathing, the expansion of the rib cage, expands the bone structure. It makes an adjustment to the whole body structure. All the tendons and muscles are linked together, even the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles of the rib cage. I'm basically activating those muscles and connecting them to the spine, to the scapula, to the shoulders and to the hips. And then when I breathe, that expansion stretches out through the whole body. And that's what I'm trying to do here. As I'm moving about, I'm synchronizing the breathing, I'm feeling the breath expand and contract and using that to create these movements that I'm doing. I'm trying to connect everything together, integrate my body into a single unit, holding a good alignment, and with this good alignment I'm expanding and contracting with the breathing. And here you can see me doing it just very simply. So expanding here to the back of the rib cage. I'm also looking up to really stretch the neck and stretch the upper spine. I'm activating the shoulders, the scapula, pulling the belly in and expanding the rib cage. And now once I've got that expansion and contraction, just a little bit of contraction, I've got to hold, remember I'm holding up the spine, this is the first principle. From holding up the spine, I now breathe into the rib cage and use that expansion and slight contraction to create movements. This is also now connecting to elastic recoil. You see, if you breathe in very strongly and expand your rib cage, when you relax, it wants to release. You're creating an elastic recoil with each movement of the breath. So the breath is a physical thing, creating physical dynamics if you can master it. Now it's also, as I said, metaphysical. You see, now this is again, you're connecting to your spirit. When you breathe and you're feeling your emotional center from this breath, you're feeling a concentration, a focus. And you have to have this focus in order to be able to do this, because you've got to feel it. You have to feel in your body this expansion in the rib cage, and you have to feel this stretch through your skeleton. And from this stretch, you've got to be able to move and keep it going. So although I'm moving about here, this is all freestyle. Everything I do is freestyle. It's all just feeling. I'm just doing what I feel like doing and trying to maintain a feeling of this inner control of my structure, inner control of my joints by stretching the joints with an isometric tension and connecting all this to the breathing. The breath or the rib cage is like another joint. Now if I could integrate my mind into this, now it's becoming metaphysical. My spirit is involved. And the spirit is also involved in the direct control of, well, let's look at chi as electromagnetism. So when I've got tension, the chi is building up. The energy is there in the muscles holding it. Now with this electromagnetism, now this is a direct control from my spirit. I'm commanding the energy to hold tension in my body. And from this I create elastic recoil and release it with relaxation, for example. But I can maintain this tension, this control of the chi, the control of the electromagnetic force, and then use this electromagnetic force to create a wave of tension, which I call peristaltic motion or hydraulic power. And peristalsis is basically a sequential squeezing of the muscles to move fluid along. It happens in digestion. So what I'm doing is a sequential squeezing of the muscles and tendons, or a sequential expansion and contraction from the breathing, from the back of the rib cage. It's not so much the front. The front has got a bit of tension because you've got to pull the belly in. It's from the back. You've got to breathe deep to the back of the rib cage. This is where the deepest part of the lungs are. And from here you squeeze outwards down through the limbs to the fingers and the toes. So you're not just breathing into the lungs now, you're breathing into the whole body. This is very, very important. And you're not only just breathing air, oxygen, which you are. You see, if you can create this expansion all the way through your bones, right, all the way through your body to the extension, this stretch is it's sort of expanding the muscles and drawing the blood there, drawing the oxygen there. So when you inhale and let this expansion grow, and here you can see me doing it slowly, this is a bit more like Tai Chi. From embracing the tree, I'm expanding as much as I possibly can with each breath, and then generating movement. So now I'm breathing all the way through my whole body, right to the extremities, the fingers and the toes, and I feel it. It feels like the air is going everywhere through my whole body, and this is an important feeling to get. If you can get this, now you can think of it like you're breathing chi. Your whole body is breathing, not just the lungs. You see, in fact, every cell is going to operate like the lungs anyway. So you want the blood has to take the oxygen from the lungs to the muscles. If you're doing this, you're helping that happen straight away. So this is very, very efficient whole body breathing. And now if you're also using and integrating your mind, you're controlling the electricity. The electricity is controlling the tension and the relaxation. So you're feeling also the flow of electricity through your body. And you want to feel that connectedness again all the way through, right to the tip of the fingers, to the tip of the toes, from the spine, right up to the crown of the head, whole body working together. And once you've got that feeling, then like this, I'm moving about. And of course I'm moving about with the purpose of martial arts. But you see, although this is martial arts, it's really body efficiency. I'm moving about, trying to keep the optimum geometry of the body, which is the neutral stance, and then move my arms and legs from there to create structures of power. And then once I've got that idea, then I start moving more fluid and faster like this. So now this is a little bit of boxing or kickboxing, so this is getting a little bit closer to actual combat. But if you see what I'm doing here, breathing chi is essentially integrating everything together and using the breath to power everything, both metaphysically and physically. So I hope this made sense. Please do check out the rest of this series and stay tuned for the final part coming very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.